What's up, freaks? With over 4,000 responses, we are gonna show you the most explosive gym on all of YouTube. And we're gonna start right now. So the inspiration for garage strength all started here at this garage. Okay, so my dad was fortunate enough that he worked at a high school and they had built a brand new weight room. This was back in like 1998. And he was able to get some of the scrap weights and bring them home. So we had a jailhouse incline bench. We had our single leg squat rack that we still have at the garage today, and a couple ratty old bars that we pieced together. It would be me and my brother who would come in here on a regular basis. He brought them home and he'd say, look, I'll set up a gym in the garage if you're gonna train there at least 4 to 5 days a week. So we would train on that side of the garage. And that's exactly where all the inspiration started. And then eventually, this was our first location in 2008, where we were here until 2011. And this is exactly where the gym was built, and the foundation, the raw feeling, everything was built upon this garage. But we didn't have those missing holes in the garage doors. Okay, so this is the actual shot circle where everything started. So a lot of the sports performance that we did early on was based off of wrestling, based off of football, and then based off of throwing. And I was fortunate enough that my dad said to me, hey, if you want to be a shot putter, I'll build a shot circle in the backyard. And this is where we started. We even have no pain, no Spain, which was us paying tribute to a slogan used for the 1992 Olympics. And what's even cooler is that if you go back to our channel, all the way back to 2008, 2009, you can see me making kefir back in my parents' kitchen. You can see us doing shot special strength training where we're out here in this area, in the landing area, and even throwing dumbbells into the bank behind the original OG garage strength. And this is where it's going. These are the circles where we developed 5 Olympians at the Tokyo Olympics. CeCe Lyons, Jason Van Rooyen, Tim Nedow, Sam Mattis, Alex Rose. They've all trained here to develop their skill to dominate at the Olympics. And this is the space that we needed to keep cultivating everybody's power. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because we got a sweet surprise that's about to be released. Now let's get swole. Okay, so this is the front room. This is our weightlifting room where we do everything around technical coordination. This is where some of the best and most explosive athletes in the world train. Sam Mattis lifts on these platforms. Jacob Horse, Haley Reichert, Nick Singleton trained in this room to develop into the Gatorade Player of the Year. Everything that we do in here is all technical coordination work. Various positions from the snatch, various positions for cleans. We have jerk boxes that we use to make our athletes as explosive in a short time frame as possible. We're focusing on impulse-based training. We've got tons and tons of sweet equipment here, including this sweet rack from ZKC with some of the best equipment in the world. We've got 3 bar racks filled with some of the best weightlifting bars in the world, including these Tokyo 2020 bars from ZKC, some of the best bars that you could ever lift on. And you're gonna notice in this gym tour that we put the champs all around the walls. So kids come in here and the first thing that they see are people's names. They want to know, who are the names? What are the stories behind these names? How did they win these national titles or All-American titles, whatever it is? And here are our Olympic banners. We've got Alex Rose, 2-time Olympian, Sam Mattis, Tim Nedow, CeCe Lyons now, and then Jason Van Rooyen. And this is an homage to them and the hard work that they put in. And it's something that we use, that we dangle in front of all of our athletes to really motivate them for that long-term process. Okay, so a lot of people ask about our boxes and why we have so many boxes and why we use so many boxes. So I like to have focused pulls from different positions for our weightlifting athletes, but also for our field sport athletes. So for football players, what we like to do is pull from about 7 inches or pull from 14 inches. It can emulate positions that they're gonna be on the field, also while taking stress off of their back and teaching them how to apply a ton of force in a very, very short distance. And this is gonna help them when they get on the field if they have to make a jump or make a play in a very short time frame. Now they've trained how to move heavy weight fast from various positions. So we've got our ZKC scoop boxes right here. This is really easy. You can do heavy back squats, heavy front squats off of here. You can do heavy partials. It's easy to load the weight and take it off. Very convenient. Thank you, ZKC. Then we've got our jerk boxes back here. Those were homemade, fabricated for us. Those things will last longer than anything else in this entire gym. We've got our ZKC jerk boxes here that we also use. Again, our football players, soccer players, our basketball players, all of our weightlifters use these jerk boxes. And then we've got our sweet Rogue bench here. We've had multiple 500-pound bench presses on this bench, including with this fat bar. So we got a 2-inch fat bar, we have a 2.5-inch fat bar. We love using fat bars to apply a ton of force. And if you want more information on fat bars, comment down below, because we're probably gonna come out with a sweet video on fat bar training. Okay, so this is our sweet mural. This is originally designed by Jake Yancey back at the old barn. Okay, so he was a wrestler that we trained, super artistic. He's now in the military. And this was at our second gym, the barn. This was our old logo. This was actually Pyros Dimas catching a snatch in the hole, and our logo was rooted in the ground. So everything was based around wholesome nutrition, and that to get strong, you have to have really good, high priority nutrition, right? So one of the other factors, we didn't put a face on this individual. We thought it was something where each individual who saw this position could put themselves on there, sort of emulate and think about them catching that big snatch in the hole. And one of the cool things here is this is the old shot circles at the barn. We had a farm next to the barn, so we raised pigs over there. These were our pigs. And we've even got a mural of my dog, Anton, who passed away a couple years ago when he was 17. He was the crazy gym dog sitting in the corner barking at everybody. If you look back at my throwback video when I first snatched 300 pounds, back in like 2009, you can see Anton tucked away in the corner. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is experiment with equipment, experiment with different positions, and that's where this guy, Mason Woods, comes into play. Mason, what do you do here?
I am the lead director of Garage Strength Equipment. Basically what we have done for the last 15 years with the help of our strength and conditioning coaches is we have found gaps in the strength equipment industry. So basically what we have done is we've collaborated with manufacturers to get our ideas into fruition, to get our idea across to provide quality strength equipment to athletes worldwide.
Great job, Mason. All right, so now we're going into our mobility room. So this is where every athlete, before they train, they'll either be in here doing mobility work or they'll be in the back doing their mobility work. And we have a sweet stash of old beat up weightlifting shoes because we use so many shoes with all of our football players, with all of our basketball players, with all these different athletes, and of course our weightlifters. So everybody can come in here. They've got access to shoes. We've got all of our straps here from ZKC everywhere so people can do heavy pulls. We've got various pieces of equipment over here. Some of these are actually prototypes, garage strength prototypes for some mobility work. We've got all of our belts here. Thank you, Chic. And then some of our pads here, and even some of our prototype pads that we played around with different foam so that we can improve our balance pads. So this is that little room that everybody can just get in, start mobilizing, start to focus on that task at hand for that day to work towards that long-term vision. Okay, so as you walk into the sports performance side, we've got a banner that says, "Do you want to be a champion?" which you'll see shortly. But we sort of have this banner or this wall of champions here. So we got Pyros Dimas, 3-time Olympic champ, who's somebody that I coach with now on a regular basis.
Say hi to Dane.
Danny.
I'm gonna
How
get
are
so
you, Danny? Good morning, Danny.
I'm gonna get so much Dane.
Or good night, Danny. What is there, Danny? Here is morning, Danny.
We got Tim Nedow, who's a 2-time Olympian. He trained here in 2017 and then again in 2020. We got Alex Rose up there. That was the first World Championships that we ever coached at. And then as we move over here, we've got the banner, and above that is Anthony Meyer's jersey. He passed away from glioblastoma. He was a champ. And then we got Sam Mattis's jersey right here from the 2020 Olympics that he wore in Tokyo, and so he was kind enough to let us have that, and then we framed it so that we could get cobwebs on there, which we need to clean up right now. Okay, so as you walk into the sports performance side, we've got our reverse hyper, which everybody's gonna use to help with their lower back, with their hamstrings, with their glutes, everything. Got some back accessories here. We've got a sweet prototype of our Nordic hamstring pull right here, a piece of equipment that we're considering to release, but also we've got a little mural on this side, and we've got everybody's goals on the wall so that people recognize and understand where their hard work that they're doing in here is going towards. It's going towards that long journey. Then we got our T-bar rows for some sweet bodybuilding exercises along with our tricep push down. Okay, so we have DJ Shuttleworth here. He's the on-site project manager, also the first athlete that I coached who ever clean and jerk 200 kilos. DJ. What do you do here?
So here as the on-site project manager, I'll deal with any inquiries on site. I'll deal with team and coaching rates. I'll train elite athletes with Dane, with the O-lifters and some of the high-level football players.
Somebody walks in the door on the first day, what can they expect?
So they go ahead and walk in the door. You're gonna go to the front desk. Mason will be up there, or sometimes we'll have a collegiate athlete up there, and they'll get you signed in. They'll have you do the liability waiver. They'll have you do the media release form, billing form, whatever documents are necessary. From there, you'll get brought into the back by Mason or whoever's at the front desk. Come into the back, up on the board then, you can see, and Taman will walk you through this later. We have the warm-ups, but you can expect a trainer to always be with you through your entire workout. You can expect the program that you're getting to be specifically for your sport, and then you'll also get technical feedback, the weights, the sets, the reps, everything from the trainer. So you literally come in and your only focus is getting better in your sport.
And sometimes you might get made fun of.
Well,
Okay, so we've got our bench area here, and we sort of split up the sports performance area into 3 key areas. So we got the bench area. Yes, we love to bench press. So we got decline, we got 2 inclines, 2 flat benches. We've got our dumbbell racks, and then we've got our platform area. So like our technical coordination area for sports performance. So what we love to do with the bench is apply a whole bunch of different grips. Here we've got a shot put bar. This is great for grip training. It's also great for applied training specifically to the sport of throwing. It's also good for offensive linemen. But we like to train various grips, various handles on the benches, and then that takes us over to the dumbbells. So in the dumbbell area, we've got an elevated bench that we can do seal rows on, a whole bunch of different elevated rows with the dumbbells, all that stuff. We've got an incline bench there. We have an adjustable incline, 2 flat benches, and then we've got our TKO bench, which is for military press. And we have dumbbells from 5 pounds all the way up to 165. Now, I think our dumbbells give us that raw feel, right? So I actually got most of these dumbbells when I was still in college in 2007. Penn State built an entire new weight room, and I had my buddy's Toyota Prius that he lent me, and I just moved all these dumbbells out. I got them for like $100, literally for $100 for the salvage. Now, they're getting banged up, they're getting old, and now we're starting to look for some other dumbbell racks, and you might have to spend $5,000 to $10,000 just to get decent dumbbell racks, but they are key to sports performance-based training. So most of the equipment that we use, even some of the platform frames in the back, some of the jerk boxes, they were old jerk boxes that we built that we used over at the barn, and now we've reused back here in the back of the sports performance area. And a lot of this stuff is secondhand stuff, and that's how early on we were fortunate that I'm really good at finding stuff on Craigslist, on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, all over the world, and making connections with equipment dealers, and that helped me early on save a lot of money, and it also helped me build just a ton of different equipment that we could test on. So I do think that's a key factor behind some of our success, is that we saved a lot of money, and we also ran a ton of experiments, which helped us in that practical setting. All right, so I'm here with our head strength coach in the sports performance area, Big T Slice, Taman Johnson. Taman, what do you do here at Garage Strength?
So here at Garage Strength, I work with all of our youth athletes, high school athletes, and even the collegiate athletes that come back. Starting with from the bottom, working on movement patterns, Olympic lifting, absolute strength, even some reflexive strength movement they would like to do. So do a mix of all those things, periodize it from exposure phase all the way through to our realization phase. Getting them right, getting them athletic, and improving and trying to get better each day.
What would you say, so Taman's a world-class shot putter as well. What's the hardest part behind your, what you're doing in the back and how you balance that as an athlete?
I think it's just trying to plan and be prepared for, everything that you're going up against. So when you're talking to athletes, having the plan set out of what we want to accomplish each day and the expectation, then also having that same thought process in my own training, planning things out, having an expectation, talking with Dane, my coach, and trying to go through each day, knowing what I'm trying to do and be prepared and try to be successful.
And you're also the host on the Peak Strength YouTube channel.
I do host on Peak Strength sometimes, so look out for that. It's coming soon.
Okay, so we have 8 platforms in the back. Everybody's got that open stand squat rack. Then we've got a strip of turf. So we can use the turf for various things. But again, a mainstay to our training is technical coordination and weightlifting movement. So we've got all of our sports performance athletes, football players, basketball players, they're all in here crushing these technical coordination movements so they can increase their strength, be more explosive, and have that technical mindset. And then behind them, you can see we've got tons and tons of banners. And so what we like to do is when someone gets a state title or an All-American title, or they qualify for the Olympics, or if they're a World Championships qualifier, or they're top 3 at NCAAs, anything along those lines, or an All-American, like I mentioned, they will get banners. You can see people who have won Pan Am Championships, Pan Am Games, state titles, NCAA All-Americans all along our wall. And that's something that people strive for then, is like they can't wait. If they come in here, they're training for 4, 5, 6 years, they can't wait to one day be up on the wall. So I mentioned secondhand equipment. Okay, so one of those big pieces of secondhand equipment is this rig. Okay, so this rig I actually got off of Facebook Marketplace. It's sweet. It's got 4 different squat racks. It's got monkey bars all the way across. It's got places that we can hang our rings, and it helped me during COVID save a lot of money, but also bring in more people here, obviously safely. We've got a whole bunch of different bars. Now, this is a cambered bar that I had designed and I experimented with. It's a little bit shorter on the arms. And then we've got a couple other bars. This is a bar we got from Elite FTS, but this is another bar that I had made personally. We even have a couple other cambered bars in the back that are football grip, so you get really big range of motion that we've created and sort of played around with for a long period of time. We like to use a safety squat bar here as well. And here actually is another version of that shot put bar. So this is a shot put bar. You can do curls on this as well. Just using a whole bunch of different stimulus to get different responses, and that's gonna take us into our single leg rack. So even while we're training, these are our gym record boards, which the gym record got broken here last week, so we gotta fix that. Oh, Sam did fix this as well. So Sam has that 1,000-pound push. It's pretty cool because we got our snatch record was just broken this year. Where is that? This is Eric Faber's snatch 161. He actually broke Olympian Norik Vardanian's snatch gym record. So it's cool to see the names that are on this board because they're all high accomplished athletes. Some of the best athletes in the world are on this board. So this is our single leg rack right here, and we've had 2 individuals single leg 500 pounds out of this rack. DK and Lucas Warning. Lucas Warning has the single leg world record by our account. And so in here we've got our garage strength balance pad right here. We use this for our back knee to target. You can pick this up at garagestrength.com. And we've got our garage strength single leg roller, which is extremely sturdy, extremely durable. The pad's perfect for that back leg to go up on and to help you achieve that full range of motion while building a ton of absolute strength. So we are here outside, and this is like our speed area. We've got a speed area outside and a speed area in the back. Now, one of the big things for us is that we've always been really good with weightlifting, with big strength movements, with being explosive. We've been solid with all that. And so this past year, what we're trying to really focus on and really develop is our actual speed program. So developing a full-blown speed program. And Legend here is our speed coach. So Legend, walk us through what you do.
Okay, well, nice to meet you guys. I'm Legend Boyson Hayes, and I'm the head speed coach here. So basically what we do is we start off with technique, right? Fundamentals, starting from top down, arms and legs, getting the right degrees and angles within our body. So after we go through that, we transition to some drills, right? A skips, B skips. Then we transition to some speed drills. We're actually applying those drills in real time. And then at the end of the day, we'll actually use something like speed sled to increase our power output with that good technique. So here I got 2 different speed sleds. This one's got a handle real low to get a low drive. This one's another lighter speed sled with the harness you can wrap around the waist, around the chest. Got a lot of variations that we could use for a good power output. So those are a couple of things that we do on a daily basis to increase our speed.
So IST this. Legend is also one of the best discus throwers in the entire US. He's a top 5 guy in the US. How do you balance being, and striving to go to the World Championships, making Olympics, along with being that speed coach? And also, how do you take your motivation as an athlete, your internal drive, and apply that with other athletes?
Yeah, so one of those key things is laying out like expectations and then a format for how to execute on that expectation. So we want to be world class, then we have to execute on a world class level every day. So that's laying out hour by hour, what are we doing? So like if you're coming in here and you want to go from, oh, I'm not even starting, I want to start, I want to be, on the lineup with the 100-meter sprint. Now, you gotta come in here 3-4 days a week, like we did with training. You know, you gotta have the recovery laid out. Okay, after I train, am I getting my protein in? Am I getting good sleep? Everything you do has to be executed well inside and outside the gym.
Absolutely. Thank you, legend. Let's ride, baby. Yeah. All right, so this is our rack. This was a personally fabricated from Ray Robinson discus and shot rack. So this is where all of our implements get stored. And what's crazy is that we've actually gotten to the point where we've even outgrown part of this rack because we have so many different implements for all of our athletes. And this is the back room, okay? So this is like our turf room. This is our assault bikes here. Probably my favorite piece of equipment to personally be on, along with our prowlers, our sleds here. I love getting that quad pump while trying to burn some calories. So we got our hurdles back here, so we're doing a lot of plyometrics, especially in the wintertime, a ton of plyometric work. We have set up here whiz jumps into hurdle hops. We got our powerlets, we got our back extensions, we got med balls, and then we got more strength stuff, okay? So we got our glute ham there where we're gonna do some hydro weight work on. We got another squat rack over here. We got some of our junior high and high school record boards and some of our bodybuilding stuff back here. Sweet XPT trainer right here. We got the XPT trainer over there, the XPT rack back here. I recommend checking them out because they're really high quality stuff that you can use to get a big pump going. And then we've got our K-Box here. This is our flywheel, another great piece of apparatus, especially when you're supersetting some of your stuff, some of your plyometrics with that high eccentric load. And then even making little crazy pieces of equipment like this for grip strength. Stole this directly from Phil DeRue. He had me do this when we went down and collabed with him. And then that takes us into the corner here. We do like to do a lot of isolation movements as well. So if we can use our leg press, if we have somebody who's got a limb issue, we can use leg curls here. Even some decline work on this. We got a seated row and a lat pull down machine. And then again, back into our back extension and our leg extension over here. But then this takes us into the garage strength equipment world. So this is sort of where we have all of our hydro weights, our single leg rollers, our balance pads, and we like to use this room to get a lot of work done. And we are using every single square foot of this building to optimize, one, so that we can make money online, but two, the most important thing, so our athletes can be total freaks. Okay, so we've got our own recovery room. You gotta check this out because we just put this in like the last 8 months. So you come in here, and this used to be our office when we first bought this place, and we just have been renovating it for about 2 years, right? And so we've got an infrared, a far infrared sauna in here. It does do full spectrum. It gets up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. We use that. Everybody tries to use that 20 to 30 minutes at least 4 times a week, trying to increase that mitochondrial volume so that they can actually help with their recovery and in their endurance-based training. Then we've got 2 personal showers. Okay, so each shower, you can shut the door, and we have a heat lamp in here as well above, and then we have our ice barrels. So you can do cold plunge here, walk over to the sauna and get that sauna work done, and then come back into the cold plunge. You can do that contrast for recovery, and then you can finish off with that nice shower. The heat lamp is sick in here. And then we've got our scale here, which I weigh myself on a regular basis, so I try to get a little bit less fat. And then mainly, because I'm a little dirty and I'm not good at organizing myself, we've got my clothes up here, and then we have a washer and a dryer as well. So this is a great place that you can come in and recover, spend some time in the sauna, try to meditate while you're in the sauna, but ultimately doing that cold plunge, that contrast recovery is key to being a freak. So these are our steps, and everybody asks us, we do a ton of stair jumps, okay? Single leg stair jumps, double leg stair jumps. I love stair jumps for plyometric work because it decreases the load when you ground, so it's really focusing on that concentric work. But I'm gonna take you up the steps because we got some other sweet stuff behind us. Oh, Jason was right. Okay, so this is our upstairs office. We probably should have cleaned up before we came up here, but has some good character. So this is where all the crazy behind the scenes work gets done. So first, we've got my wife, Caitlin. She's our monster email marketer, along with SEO expert. And we've got Jake Horse, our social media expert here. Jake also has a top 5 snatch in the entire world. And Caitlin is ranked top 5 in the US in Olympic weightlifting for masters. Okay, so we are here with my wife, Caitlin. Caitlin, what do you do at Garage Strength?
Hi, I run all of our SEO and I do HR for the business as well as email marketing.
So what does that entail?
It means I do some research before we put stuff out to make sure that it's something that we're eligible to rank for, and it means I'm writing emails and responding to emails occasionally on everything that we do here and all the content that we put out at Garage Strength.
How do you manage 4 kids and be an email marketer?
A lot of juggling. Late nights.
Yeah, a lot of late nights. We've got Jake Horst, who's one of the best weightlifters in the entire world. He has one of the best pound-for-pound snatches in the history of the United States. Jake is our social media man. What do you do exactly, Jake, with social media?
So I run all things social media here at Garage Strength. So our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. I help a little bit with thumbnail production sometimes for our YouTube videos. As you can see, I'm currently editing a video for Instagram right now. But yeah, anytime you see comments on Instagram, you see DMs, any interaction on social media, it's going to be me.
So I asked T and Legend this question, because Taman, Legend, they're world-class throwers. How do you balance being a world-class athlete and having a full-time job?
So I use a lot what I do at work for weightlifting. So scheduling, being on time, having to put out good content. It's the same thing with weightlifting. If you want to be a really elite weightlifter, you have to be on time. You have to do all your extra things like mobility, recovery, and you have to perform really well, just like you do at work. So I think it's relating the two, work and being an athlete, together, and that's what helps become a champion.
Absolutely. A freak champ. All right, so we got 2 surprises up in the office. The first surprise for me was that my office was going to be on camera. And you can see it's sort of a disaster. I've got my bookshelves over here. I got a whole bunch of books hidden in the back, a whole bunch of records hidden in the back. I still have my suitcase from when I just got done traveling, still sitting here. And essentially this is my big schedule for next year, for 2022 or for 2023. We've got our YouTube schedule up on the whiteboard there. We have our profit formula on the wall so that all of our decisions at least have that in the back of our mind. And then we've got our sweet YouTube 100,000 subscriber plaque right there. And then a cool plaque that we got made after the Tokyo Olympics that have all of our cards that we use and all of our passes for everything for each session that we got to go to. So this is sort of just like a memento area that we have to remind myself like what we're working towards and trying to get to that 1 million subscriber plaque. All right, so the second surprise outside of my dirty office was we are here with Trevor Stutzman, essentially the glue, the man behind the scenes that helps us maintain all sanity probably, especially managing Jason, who's behind the camera, and then myself. So Trevor, tell us what you're doing right now.
So, well, really the most exciting thing that I'm doing is working on a strength training app that's about to be released called Peak Strength. We've been developing this app for about 1.5 years behind the scenes, and really even longer than that because it's essentially an accumulation of all of the training we've done for the last, 11, 12 years at Garage Strength, and, developing our PDF programs and, custom programs, training people on site, and essentially it's an accumulation of all of that put into, an app, a really user-friendly app that, can use its, kind of AI capabilities to, spit out really good programs for people.
Yeah. So what is it? This dude looks pretty jacked.
I guess.
You sure that's not more fun than Peak Strength?
So I also spend a lot of time cutting out pictures of Dane making thumbnails. That's the other thing I do. Also general product development, website marketing, all that.
So we are here with our third surprise, and that is our cameraman, Jason Kuhn, who's also our video editor. Jason, tell us what you do here at Garage Strength.
So I kind of do a lot of stuff. I manage the YouTube channel. I basically post every video. I approve the thumbnails. I edit about half the YouTube videos. I film almost every single one. I help edit scripts and stuff like that. I collaborate a lot with Trevor and Dane in regards to ideas. And I basically just make sure that the YouTube channel doesn't burst into flames and that we can continue to stay on schedule. And also just more recently, dealing with brands and, handling brand deals. So if you're annoyed at all the brand integrations that we have, you can blame me.
Jason is also the self-proclaimed world's strongest video editor.
I'm hoping to claim that title. As of right now, I haven't been training super consistently, but I think, you know, before, about 6 months ago when I was dumbbell pressing the 120s, military pressing for like sets of 4, I think I could make that argument, but maybe not right now.
Absolutely. Jason's also a D3 All-American, along with Trevor and Legend. So we probably have the most All-Americans on staff.
Yeah, I think everyone's an All-American except for one person.
Me. All right, everybody, thanks for being on our gym tour, and hopefully one day you guys can come train here at Garage Strength. Again, thanks for all of the years of support. Thanks for being in our corner and helping us with this long-term growth. If you want to become a freak, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.